This is Chatham the SUN. You are listening to LFOD Radio, Live Free or Die.
LFOD Radio, Live Free or Die.
You rocking out with LFOD.
LFOD Radio.
LFOD Radio.
The Live Free or Die Radio on 91.5.
Live Free or Die.
LFOD Radio, boy.
LFOD Radio. Oh.
You are now tuned in to Live Free or Die Radio. I am your host, Uncle Sam, and this is episode number 106 on Tuesday, April 10th, 2018. We got Chatham the SUN in the building. He'll be with us in a second. Right now, I am with Tia.
What is up?
And Tay-Tay.
How y'all doing? Is
it formally Tay-Tay now? It's not Tayshawn anymore?
Oh, no, it can be both.
Okay.
I just like hearing Tay-Tay sometimes, you know. Like if you want, like, call me what you want, you know what I'm saying? Call me Tayshawn or Tay-Tay or anything. Just, I like both. Okay, I respond to both.
All right. You're still Tia, right?
I'm still Tia.
You was screaming all weekend.
Yeah, sadly. Now I sound like a dying horse.
Well, that's meaner than I would be, but all right. What were you up to this weekend? I
was at PAX East this past weekend. Making them connects. If you don't know already, I am a YouTuber. I didn't really make that public till just now. But yes, I do YouTube. And I was connecting with YouTube people. And YouTube people are crazy.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. Like, I'll just make this really short. We went to this party on Sunday. They were insane. So, that's all I'll say about that.
Crazier than these rappers?
Oh my God. You would think like they're nerds who stay inside all the time, but they're just like, wow. I don't know.
Do you want to get some followers? Do you want to drop your YouTube channel?
Sure. Follow me at Sailor Stevie on YouTube. That is Sailor Stevie. Just one thing. That is my name. That's what I go by. That's what you could call me. So yeah.
Yeah.
You got so many layers. Always being revealed. But yeah, and also you can follow us at LFOD Radio, Twitter at LiveFreeOD Radio. Let us know if you're tuned in. Tweet at us, hit us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. There's been a lot of conversation going on today, all week really. It's been wild. We got pulled into some of it because y'all value our opinions, which we appreciate. And basically all we're really going to say about it is there's a ton of talent in New England. And it's a beautiful thing. And as we've been on record saying millions of times, the infrastructure does, in fact, tend to lag a bit behind the talent, and that can be frustrating. But it is being built. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. And it's going to take people getting out, getting involved, and figuring out what they can do to support it. We have a ton of artists right now. What we don't have is a ton of managers, a ton of publicists. We do not have good promoters. I don't want to say that. We don't have great promoters. We have a lot of people getting into promotion. There's a lot of people we've been seeing pop up. That's dope. Please keep doing what you're doing. Learn how to do it right. And I don't mean to slander it, but what I mean is you really have to dig to find out what's going on in Boston. So you have artists who exist, who have an artist that they could rock with around the corner that they don't know about. And vice versa, you have people thinking nothing's happening when there's a ton of great things, but you have to know the one right person to find out about all of it. So with that being said, the way we can help with that, if you have flyers or anything like that, tag at LFOD Music. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And we're going to make that page kind of a wall, like a bulletin board for events and stuff around the city. So if you go on the Instagram, you can already see that taking place. The Twitter is also hooked up to our SoundCloud and stuff, so we're sharing music on there as well, a little more so than on the radio page. So at LFOD Music is going to have all of that stuff, and we just want to make that kind of a like a bulletin board, like a forum where you would go and check it out, see what flyers are there, see what's going on. We're going to share as much as we can on there. And that's how we can do our part. So, but you got to help us. You got to let us know when things are going on. If we don't know what's going on, you can't really hold us responsible for that. Like, we look and we search for things, but you should at least be making the effort. If you are a promoter, if you are an artist, if you have a new record out, if you have something going on, you should be reaching out to pretty much everyone you can and letting them know. You can't sit back and rely on people to find you, because even if they are active and they are looking, their inboxes are full of other people taking that initiative to hit them up. So they're going to get to those people first, and it's just how it works. So you really have to get out there, and if you want it, it's not a big thing to put your ego aside and just send some emails all day.
Also, we say this all the time, but also send clean records. Every single episode that we ever have in regards to LFOD, we always say send clean records. It's always something that you should definitely do if you want us to, if you want to be on our radar, if you want to get some airtime, if you want to basically reach a different audience, then definitely just send us clean records. We're always responsive to those. We're always going to check those out.
Submissions at lfodradio.com.
Put
Send us
in
some
that
records. Tell us who you are. Tell us what's going on. And that's how it goes. We got some records we're going to play today from the inbox. That's what happens. And we have tons of people hitting us up. So we're always looking for more music. That being said, I had a busy weekend too. So I want to fill you guys in, because we went to the ME conference, the Music Entrepreneur Conference at Harvard, which was dope.
It looked dope. It looked super dope.
Honestly, I can't believe some of the people they had in that room.
Really?
They had this one guy, Burnt Ullman. He negotiated the J-Lo Mark Anthony deal. It's known as the biggest deal ever, $3.5 billion. He was involved with bossing up Fat Farm, FUBU. He did Nicki's line, Adam Levine, J-Lo. Just the dude builds brands and blows them up. He dropped a ton of gems. There was, Barry Gordy's son was there, lifelong friend of Michael Jackson. He was telling stories about MJ and Prince and a lot of behind the scenes, backroom stuff. And that wasn't it. Irie was it. There were too many people to list, but it was a great event. We learned a lot. It's going to be back next year. We might be going skydiving with a few of the people. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And shout out to everyone who won tickets and went, because we've been talking with them and asking them what they learned from it, and everyone got a ton out of it. And I think that's going to go a long way towards building the scene. People said, someone said Millie told me she's going to be on the panel in a couple years. So I hope that's true. That's that's inspirational. You go and so that was great. The conference was awesome. We learned a lot. We're about to boss up too. I also went to, longtime listeners know about Priscilla.
Yeah.
She was the co-host for a little while on here. She runs the Black Cotton Club, and she just did her first art exhibition at Craft and Cairo down in the Seaport. I would encourage you to check it out. It's called My Body is a Home.
Snaps to Priscilla.
Yes, that's a poetry snap moment.
Priscilla.
And a lot of, the questions that it caused me to ask myself were thought-provoking and kind of changed the course of my weekend. And then finally, I didn't sleep this weekend, if you can't tell. Sunday night, Stew Showcase relaunched season 5 of the Stew, season 5. So shout out to Jay Demers and Dougie Flex for taking home the 1 and 2 spot at that. And they'll be in the finale competing for a grand in December. The next one is June 17th. A Rock with the Stew. They put on heavy for the producers out here. And stay tuned, because we got a lot more coming with them as well. You guys want to play some music?
Yeah, let's play some music. Let's play some tunes.
That was a long
Some
intro,
tunes.
right? She goes, yeah come on. So we're going to play we got to play this new Nera record, because he's just been stirring everything up.
Oh, yeah.
This one's called Cities Watch, and he sent it to us. And then we got some records from some people that actually won tickets to the conference, so it was dope to see MCs at it. What's up?
I'm just saying, Noom Nero. This is the lighter.
We need the
sound.
blowtorch sound.
sound.
Shout out to Noom. You're tuned into Live Free or Die Radio. We're back with Chatham the SUN.
Yeah.
What's happening, man?
What up?
I got a shout out. We kicked it off with some Noom Nera. Then we played some YM Prop. He was one of the artists who won tickets and checked out the event. So shout out to him for that. And then we closed it with that Chatham the SUN Static Selected joint.
Get it.
Get it, man.
Get it.
Get it. You got it.
What's up, Boston?
It's good. You're here.
I made it.
You did. You got the record with you.
Tay is holding the record.
Tay-Tay's got it.
We brought the hard copies.
That's how. It's not how we met, but that's pretty much how we first developed a relationship. You popped up at the first LFOD apparel photo shoot pop-up shop, and you showed up with a case of CDs. You got in the photos. You got the clothes.
Shout
you
out
got
to Uncle
CDs
Fee.
in everyone's hands, and then the rest is history. So, what's up? You came from Exeter, New Hampshire.
Yep. X-Town.
How'd you get into rapping out there?
I actually got into rapping with my cousin. Shout out to Fat Puto. He lived up in Raymond, so I used to go up there every weekend, and we watched the movie Friday, and this was 1995, and we were like, that's us. We just sit on the porch, and the neighborhood is just all kinds of stuff happening, and just sit on the porch playing music, and we were just like, I could relate to that. And then we wrote our first rhyme, and then Bullworth soundtrack and Public Enemy, He Got Game.
Do you remember something from the first rhyme?
Yeah, it was like, don't talk the talk if you can't walk the walk. Don't you know we as mean as a croc?
There it is.
That's and then that's the main one I remember. But
mean as a croc. Made the sound effect. Raymond, New Hampshire. Shout out to Raymond. And then you said Bullworth
soundtrack and He Got Game in '98, and that's what really, from '98 on, it was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I love making music and poetry and just writing. So,
and now at this point, you're something of a. Would you consider yourself a veteran?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when everybody has like rebirths in their career, so there's a point right now where I feel like I'm just really starting to do what I want to be doing, and so it's like I'm a rookie in that sense. I'm just kind of getting going and where I want to be. But as far as being in the game, and I'm definitely a veteran, over 20 years.
That's
making music.
Congrats to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Making it, traveling the world.
Yep. Just got back from China.
What was going on over there?
I initially went out in October to visit a friend, and through some connections got a show out there. So performed out there, and it was crazy. I was like, I got to come back. So came back in February. I was there for 2 months. Just got back. Had another couple shows out there. Did some modeling and for Boy London. Shout out Boy London.
I was wondering because you're draped in all sorts of fabrics right now.
Yeah, we got the Boy London brand on from head to almost toe.
Now it's a Chinese brand?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, they might be from London, but knowing how things kind of go over there, I think it's Chinese. They just use the name Boy London.
That's what's up. Yeah, we had NBS on last week, and they were talking about the Chinese hip-hop scene, and it's exploding right now.
It's crazy. I like walking down the street, all of a sudden I hear like old 90s R&B. I'm like, oh, like I'm hearing the perfect beat right now just in China out of nowhere, blasting down the street. And so I walk towards it. I finally find it, and it's these two probably maybe 10-year-old kids having a b-boy battle.
Wow.
Going hard. I taught some hip-hop classes too when I was out there.
Really?
I linked up with a Chinese beatboxer, rapper, who's one of the best beatboxers I've ever heard. Crazy. And so he teaches hip-hop classes. He had me come in, and I taught a couple classes with him.
So what were you teaching?
Teaching like stage performance, just being comfortable, delivery, freestyling. There's a 9-year-old girl, shout out to Super Amy. She's going to be an absolute legend, I can tell.
The name Super Amy
yeah.
is amazing.
I love that.
I have a video on my phone I'll show you guys after, but she's like, Super Amy, okay, respect. And then just like, and she kills it, freestyling off the top, hip-hop dancing, like. And another kid, Frank, who was, we're teaching him just the movements, and, when you're performing, you don't want to just stand there, you want to move. And so it was cool.
So are they freestyling? What's the language barrier like? Are they hip to English? Are they learning English through rap, and so that's kind of their vocabulary?
Yeah, a lot of the time. My boy, the beatboxer, is a good rapper, and he can freestyle in English. Or Chinese, yeah. So he's the man. Shout out to Young X. He's the man.
X.
I'm gonna get him. I gotta get him his American visa. Come out here, do some shows, and So it's cool to link up with people. And then a Beijing legend, Nasty Ray. I reached out to him on Instagram, and we had booked a show, but it was during Chinese New Year. And so all the trains were booked. I couldn't get up to Beijing, and so I missed out on that show. It's sad, but shout out to Nasty Ray too.
Chatham, how does a kid from Exeter, New Hampshire end up in Beijing rapping? Like, what is how do you approach
Hard
things
work.
that you, well, yeah, but how do you uncover these opportunities?
It's just networking, and it's the more people you meet, and not even meet on like a business tip, but just people you run into who become friends or just become good acquaintances or whatever, just building good connections with everybody. That's, I mean, these situations just open up, and for me, it's always been something where if I feel like I'm gonna give it up, you know, maybe I should stop rapping and go to college or just whatever, and I would make a decision. I'd start looking at schools. Then the next day, I'd get a call about a show in New York or a show, or just some opportunity would present itself. So, I always follow those signs.
That's what's up. You have to. We had an interview with Slane, and that was his main thing. He was like, just follow the signs. That's all you have to do. Just keep following them.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're shining over there too.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Usually.
I wanted to ask a question about Static Selector though.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed, like, I was listening to a couple of songs prior to the actual interview, and I don't know, I get a lot of Rakim vibes from you, actually.
Ooh,
so
thank you.
It's just kind of nuts because I was just kind of considering just your style of music, I would say. So do you feel like MCing could exist in, like, you know, outside of, like, you know, boom bap instrumentals? So like, do you think it could exist in, like, you know, trap records or anything like that?
Absolutely. And I'm really excited to present my new music. I have to finish making it. I have a lot of rough drafts that I need to finalize, but it's really trying to bridge the gap between the new and the old. And most of it's self-production. It's got a real interesting vibe. So it's kind of like that. It's MCing over more trappy beats. I think that combination, it's a lot of fun to make. Yeah. Because it used to be sit down and write, and you can only rap over so many primo beats, and so, you know, this is like a whole new, it's like making a new genre of music. It's a lot of fun.
And that's what it's supposed to be, man. When it stops being fun.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place.
How is it like working with Static though?
It's awesome. Static's crazy. There's nobody like him. It's not, I mean, he's like the ultimate just professional, on point genius about every like thing he does. If he hears the beat and he's like, oh, I know what, I'm gonna scratch over it, and it like he's crazy. He's crazy. He's a good dude too.
I feel like he kind of like brings out like a certain cadence in like your rapping skills or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that I'm going on a static beat, it's like I have to go the hardest I've ever gone. You know what I mean? It's I messaged him on MySpace years ago, and I think it was when Stick to the Script came out.
Classic record.
And I was like, dude, it's messed up for me to say this, but I put you in my top 5, probably top 3 producers. I was like, it's crazy to think that, but I honestly, like, I love his production. To me, he blends everything that I love about hip hop into his, like, he's like the perfect producer to me. And that's messed up to say. You're gonna put him over so many legends, you know, but he's a legend. So
so you met him through MySpace?
No,
I was gonna say, I thought you guys
he went to school in Exeter for a little while, and so I know him through, I know 600 people who know him, and then I had never actually met him until pretty recently, right, kind of before we did this. So
wow.
Yeah, and I know his mom. Shout out to his mom. She's a good lady.
Shout out to all. Selector.
Yeah,
everyone at show.
Shout out to my mom too.
Shout out to all the moms tuned in tonight. Shout out to Show Off. They put in, all those guys just work hard. That's their brand right there.
Absolutely.
They'll outwork anybody, and that's why they are where they are.
Yeah, I mean, like, Static's schedule is insane. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have an hour off before your next gig, and then you're taking, you know, the cab across the city to this gig, and then you got a studio set. Like it's insane. Hard work pays off. Mm-hmm. Definitely does.
Well, let's play a record, man.
All right.
Actually, before we get into it, real quick, what message would you say, if you could sum up your music in one mission statement?
I like to say lyrical, spiritual party music.
Lyrical, spiritual
Love
party
that.
music.
Yeah,
I love
thank you.
that.
It's
Chatham,
like,
we're going to talk about his live show when we come back to this, because it is party music.
yeah,
Chatham
we
the
have a
SUN
good
show
time.
is a fun.
But we try to keep it positive and try to keep it lyrical, or show the skill. That's what hip hop
You definitely
is.
like to play with the flow. You don't stick with one for more than 4 bars, maybe 3.
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah,
It's a very
trying more and more to switch it up a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, but
That's what's up, man. Well,
no, I
we're,
like to play with the flows for sure.
we're gonna play the record with Mr. Cheeks,
Yeah, shout out to Cheeks, Boss
LB
Boys.
fam. We'll be back after this. You're tuned into LFOD Radio. We got Chatham the SUN in the building. Something for you and you. Kings stay blessed. Wings stay stretched.
Oof,
Chatham.
oof.
That's the message, man. It's all over the record.
Yes, absolutely. King stay blessed. Queen stay blessed.
Young Kings on the rise.
Yeah, that's the new joint.
That is the new joint. I've heard it. Your live show is this dude. You see him hop on stage with like 6 beer bottles, and you're like, all right. And then he hands them out, and everyone gets a beer, and
Yeah,
it's a party from there.
yeah, absolutely.
Which, if we're dropping gems on stage performance, it's genius for 2 reasons. You're giving people beers. They're a part of it with you, but you're also bringing them to the front of the stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a nice
you stand in
little-
front, you get rewarded.
It's a nice little 1-2, and it makes
Yeah.
the show live.
And I
Everyone's in
do
a
it
good
during
mood.
the line, throwing beers to the crowd in a smoke cloud, everybody throwing down now. And so as I say that line, I hand it out because we talk what we
And then
live,
you
know?
learn you don't get a new beer before Chatham's getting up, and you just stand right in the front.
One of my boys turned to this girl he's with, and he goes, "You want to watch me get a free beer?" And then it's like, come on, just come over here.
That's awesome.
You ever crowd surf?
No.
We're not gonna stop talking about this.
No.
We're not gonna stop talking about this.
I would under the right circumstance, but at the same time, people get handsy, and
Oh,
you never know
God.
what's in someone's hands, and just, I don't know, it's
Philly
maybe
G
not.
and Balin are gonna hate us after this month.
You have to crowd surf.
They're
Those
gonna
are the new
hate us
rules.
after this month, yo. I swear.
Nah, they'll be good.
I'm salty. I'm still salty.
Oh man, yeah, we had some guys promise they were going to crowd surf on an earlier show, and then they didn't.
Oh,
so we're
time's
done.
coming.
Though, we're done. We'll leave them alone.
Sporadic.
We definitely want to be a part of the positivity.
I saw Method Man at Rock the Bells years ago, and he crowd surfed a little, and then was just held up. The crowd was just holding him up in the crowd.
when he walks out.
yeah,
it's
yeah, and
crazy.
he walks on, and that's really cool. I would do something like that more than I would like a belly flop into the crowd.
If you
know?
guys haven't seen Meth, he stands like 10 feet into the crowd,
Yeah.
standing straight up.
People just
on
holding
people's hands.
holding him up, and he'll rap. And Method Man and Redman separately and together are like, if you have to see that at some point in your life. They put on, I think, the best show I've ever seen.
They're great
Yeah.
live.
I think I missed them at the Freedom Rally one year, actually.
Yeah, they come around a lot. They were just out in Worcester.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make sure you see them every chance you get, or at least once in your
It
life.
was there, and I was like, wow, man.
Yeah, they're dope. They'll be back. They're not going to stop anytime
Please,
soon.
please don't.
Blackout.
No.
Please don't.
And
I
Meth
haven't
is
seen
almost
it.
better than ever lately.
Oh,
been-
yeah.
He's been turning up.
Crazy.
It's
man.
it's crazy to see who was a beast back then, and then who kind of got complacent, and who just kept going and kept. And he's someone who obviously is just. He might not drop a CD for 5 years, but he's probably got thousands and thousands of rhymes on his phone, and you can tell takes it seriously.
Yeah, Meth he's one of the greats. He's been acting a lot. I think that's been his focus.
Mhm,
Blackout 2 was great.
Yeah.
I still like it. So here's a question we got on our Facebook. So guys, we always post, when we post the flyers, we always ask people to chime in with questions. And once again, that's all at LFOD Radio, Live Free OD Radio on Twitter. But so the question is, more poison than tobacco, brainwash teens, watch TV and go wacko. I love that line. And they said, what ways do you expose yourself to meaningful content that helps generate your conscious creative raps? Do you go to events, talk with different people, etc.? Where does that all come from?
A lot of the creativity that goes into the conscious raps.
How do you expose yourself to that energy?
I mostly by probably watching YouTube.
Yeah.
just looking up all kinds of stuff and just going deep on all kinds of subjects. Reading. I learn from everybody and everything. So it's. I just kind of have always had my own views that I don't know where they come from, but
You have some interesting views, my friend.
Thank you.
I will say that. What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh, conspiracy theories. My favorite. Boy. That's tough. I don't want to say anything without getting too crazy and
you don't want to.
We like crazy here.
Yeah.
Well, I like crazy, but then this is gonna cause it causes the whole debate and people you monster, and
How
then
about
they
this? We won't debate it on here. You can. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I've seen some of your. I have an idea where you're going. Yeah. Don't say that one.
No. Well, we could say aliens. I think because a lot of mythology, history, religions, a lot of stories. They all kind of say the same thing. It's about beings that come from the sky and give knowledge, or So something's going on. Okay, something's going on. If it's not aliens, it's we're in a computer simulation. There's like scientists have come out and said there's basically computer code written in the laws of physics, and so that's a real big thing. Prominent scientists are we're probably in a simulation run by an ancient something. Who knows what goes on, but I just know, be a good person, smile, spread love,
Yeah, those
we're
are
all in this
facts.
together.
Whatever it ends up being, that's probably the right way to handle it.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what, whatever's pulling the strings, or if no one's pulling the strings, or whatever is happening, at the end of the day, doing good things is better than doing bad things.
Yes.
And doing good.
And I don't know if you want to quote me on that, or but go ahead.
It's a
the
quote.
One
It's
from
in the
this
record.
interview.
That'll be the caption to the podcast.
Do I get a rainbow
good,
like Jesus
racist,
and Mero?
bad.
Get a rainbow.
No, we should come up with our own rainbow type thing. Shout out to Jesus and Mero. I was watching one today.
Oh,
They had
too.
one I
That's
hadn't
funny.
seen with the. Did you see with the Italian dude with the bicycle with the Roman candles?
I did not see.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna share it later because someone passed him on a moped and he just had a Roman candle thing hooked up to his bicycle and he just started firing on him and he knocked him off the moped. The dude it was insane. He just screaming
They
in
get
Italian.
the funniest
Oh,
videos.
dude, shout out to
The dude
brand
walking
is
around on
strong.
fire, and then
Yeah.
something falls off him. It's on fire, and he's like, "Dude, you dropped your fire."
Those dudes are hilarious. If you guys ever need a energy boost, Jesus and Mero is the way to go. Let's talk about you though, Chatham,
All right.
because we got to talk about this. The Boston scene question has been blowing up, but it's
Yeah.
funny. I put something online earlier today. I was like, "Are we in retrograde? Is something happening? Because everything's spicy right now."
We're in Gator.
And it
And
turns out we are in
someone
retrograde.
was like, "We are."
Until April 15th. I still don't know if I believe in it, but things have been wild everywhere. This happened. We're in a Seacoast, New Hampshire Facebook group. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I could delete the app. And then that got crazy. People talking about the scene there
Yeah,
and this and
yeah.
that. And they're all tuned in right now.
All right. Well, I'd love to share my opinion.
So, just real briefly, what do you think about...
I think everybody, and I've been guilty of this. Everybody has been guilty of this. Feels self-entitled, and that things should revolve around them. You know what I mean? And having a portion of that in your psyche is great, but being dominated by that will get you nowhere, because everybody feels like they should be thought of in the conversation. And it's at the end of the day, there's hundreds of rappers from New Hampshire, there's hundreds of producers, there's 50 or 100 promoters, there's everybody's doing their own thing and expects everyone to jump on what they're doing. So I think just supporting as much as you can. Some people have families. They can't go out to the show every night. You know what I mean? I used to go out I would do, shout out to the Rap Night crews. I would do Rap Night Sunday in Manchester. I'd do Monday in Portland with Mars. And then I'd do Wednesday in Portland. Thursday at Cody Pope's in Pelham. Saturday I'd have a show at maybe Hampton Beach. And then I'm back to it on Sunday. That's 5 shows that you're going to. That's gas money. That's paying in, if you're not performing, you can only do that so much before, you got other things that you have to focus on in life. Or, people got families, they got school, they got work. Can't expect everyone to always come out. I think artists and promoters need to work together, and promoters need to work together.
Yeah.
It can't just be a separate, like, I'm throwing this show, I'm throwing these shows. It's okay, let's come together and, you come to my shows, I'll come to your shows. That just doubles attendance right there. Like,
Right. If neither show is selling out.
Yeah. And in New Hampshire, the scene is better than it ever has been. When I was first coming up, the only people doing shows were Static, Granite State, Ape. They were the only people doing shows. But other people would tell you, oh, there was this in Manchester, there was this in Nashua, there was this, but I never heard of it. We barely even had MySpace back then.
Yeah.
So the scene is better than ever. There's more opportunity than ever. It's more saturated than ever. But I think if people come together and work together, then there can be a big scene.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely moving around out there and things like that.
So how do you usually promote yourself?
How do I promote myself?
Yeah, how do you usually promote yourself?
I do a lot of word of mouth. Everybody will tell you that everybody knows me. Or, I was talking to my cousin and I mentioned your name and they're like, oh, I know Chatham. Or someone just told me that the other day. And then someone told me that today. Like, everybody knows me.
Every single person I meet from Exeter.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you know Chatham? Who's that? You're not from Exeter.
No. Maybe they're from Exeter, but they're not from X-Town.
Yeah, how do you not know Chatham the SUN?
Yeah.
But,
and I give out the hard copy CDs. I sell a lot of CDs. I left like a box of 100 in Burlington, Vermont, box 100 in New York, box 100 in Boston, just kind of spread it. Now I got like a new shipment. I'm selling a lot of these. I've sold a lot. People are like, oh, you still do CDs? Then everybody says, oh, I have a CD player in my car and I have nothing in it because I don't listen to CDs.
This
Perfect.
is in my CD
it
player
goes
in my
in and
car.
it stays in because there's no competition.
Yeah. Exactly. Shout out
And-
to you for bringing them through, too. We
Yeah,
love it when
thank you.
artists bring
Yeah.
gifts.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. And,
LFOD, live free or die.
well, that's the next question.
Wait. Can I ask the question?
No. It's supposed to be for Tia. We'll see if she had to step out. We'll wait. Okay. You've asked a lot of questions today.
Oh, he
I've
wants
asked a
this
lot of
one. He
questions,
wants
but
this one.
I've been begging to ask
Okay,
this question.
ask him the question.
Okay. What does live free or die mean to you?
Oh, nice. Good question.
Great question.
Now I see why you wanted to ask that so bad. Live free or die to me means having the freedom to follow your dreams, be who you are, following your heart, pretty much. Live free or die.
Absolutely.
If they can take everything from you, they can't take your thoughts or your heart or your so that's the most important thing.
Boom. And with regards to the New Hampshire scene, yeah, we definitely are trying to move around out there and do our thing and be a part
and
of
shout
it.
out to everybody who
And
is.
So there's a ton of people. We could list them all, but they know who they are.
Yeah,
and we're not even gonna go into picking favorites because there's people we don't know about. But hit us up and let us know if you got events. Let us know so we can help be a part of that. It doesn't hurt. Don't block your own shots. It doesn't hurt to reach out.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's for sure. We want to. There's a thing Sunday. Are you going to thing Sunday?
The think tank.
Yeah. I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
man.
no, I remembered that. Uncle Fee just told me about we might go to Tom Nix's grave. Shout out to Tom Nix.
Okay.
But I might do the think tank too. We'll try to
Yeah.
do them both.
Some guys trying. A lot of guys are trying to put together a New Hampshire think tank that we're talking about. So we're gonna check that out.
Yeah. Shout out Chris
Sunday
Smalls too.
and see what's happening there.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Is that a friend of yours?
Yeah, Chris Smalls and Tom Nix.
My condolences. Recent
thank
loss?
you. Within last year. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. It's sad.
People are dying young, man.
Yeah.
They really are. I want to play another record, then we'll come back, all right?
Let's do it.
This is the record. This is the Straight Outta X-Town.
Mm.
Do you want
If you ever come to my show, make sure you come in the front row.
so you get the beers?
This song gets a lot of love at the performances. So shout out to everybody.
Straight Outta X-Town, Chatham the SUN. You're tuned in to Live Free or Die Radio. Yes.
Radio.
Straight out of X-Town.
Radio.
Chatham, any closing thoughts? So you said you're working on new music. When do you think people should expect to hear that?
It's been the songs you heard from me are from King Stay Blessed. I released that probably about 3 years ago. So I've been working on the new stuff for about 3 years. I have a lot of things that are, gotten scrapped and redone and this and that. It's been a long process. I'm hoping by the fall you'll start to hear some things. I may drop a single on 420. Shout out to Motion Picture.
Okay.
We might drop dub on it. And so yeah, we got some new things coming, and it's going to be a lot different than what you've heard. So,
a lot different.
So I'm really excited to hear how see people's reactions.
In what ways?
A lot different.
That's all.
I mean, yeah,
Just a lot.
It's a lot of self-production. It's a lot of new school sounding beats. And so, long story short, I worked at Olive Garden a while back, and I gave my CDs to everyone who worked there. Shout out to the OG crew. And this one girl, the next day, everyone's like, "Oh, I love your CD. Oh, it's awesome. This is amazing." And then this one girl, I'm like, "Oh, do you listen to it?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Why? What's up? Like, you can tell me you didn't like it. Like, what's going on?" She goes, "Well, it's just old school." And I was like, "Oh my God, am I old school?" Like the day has come where like boom bap, lyrical, like hip hop is old school.
Oh,
and I mean, she was a younger girl, but like that's true. So I was like, I need to shout out to Gangstar. I need to update the formula.
Yeah. That's dope that you took that in a way that, and then you took it to progress your artistry.
Yeah.
You didn't take
So you
it.
look at someone, I'm not the biggest, Jay-Z fan really by any means, but I love what he does. I respect him. But he's someone who adapts with every time the genre kind of takes a turn, he adapts with it. And it's not like in a corny way. He's not just chasing the new sound. He's an artist. He can adapt to the changes. So I'm like the same way. I like making all types of music. I got a couple like R&B-ish singing joints. And I just love to do everything. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, thank you.
I love it, man. Because some people just hear that and they dig in. And they're like, "No, you don't know what you're talking about." Like,
Yeah, I mean the genre has clearly changed.
yeah.
Clearly changed. Is it ever going to come back? I don't know. People still make folk music, but it's not the '60s anymore.
Right.
It's not what it was.
Right.
And I think the same thing with hip hop. I think the time's gone. I think it will still be blended in here and there, and it will be kept alive, but it's obviously morphed into something new.
It'll just evolve into something else.
Yeah.
Right,
it's still
exactly.
hip-hop,
Exactly. It'll
but
keep evolving.
We had Bobby Bangers and I had a dope convo about this the other day.
Bobby Bangos.
And he's one of the ill DJs. And the culture is always a moving thing. I think Kool Herc said from the beginning, it's an evolving.
Yeah, what's the
art form.
difference
That's the whole
between
point.
Sugar Hill Gang and EPMD, and then EPMD and Nas, and then Nas and DMX, and then DMX and 50 Cent, and
It moves.
and Jeezy, and the sound has been moving and changing, but we're just now, it's been moving and changing so long that it's actually gotten somewhere.
Right. And yeah, exactly. And people,
So it's like,
they
we've reached
still-
a destination a little bit.
Where are you going to draw the line? It's, even calling what you do old school is almost disrespectful to the actual old school dudes from the 80s.
Right,
like, those
right.
guys are written out of the books completely
Yeah.
at this point. And it's definitely moving. It's a genre that does that, though. And you got to move with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun. It's fun to make different music. You make the same thing all the time. I mean, it's cool, but
Yeah.
I like to make something that sounds a little different every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes spaghetti every day.
Right.
Exactly.
And if you do, load
Diversify your
up,
palate.
do your thing.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. If you want to eat spaghetti every day, eat spaghetti
Yeah.
every day. But, maybe try...
Or maybe the
Maybe-
masses
maybe
aren't
a-
eating spaghetti every day.
Hey, maybe a penne one day, a ziti another,
Right.
tortellini,
Yeah.
Right.
Fettuccine one day. You know what I'm
Switch up
saying?
your
Switch up your sauces too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So-
now you're talking.
With that being said, Chatham, this is dope, man. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah,
Where
thanks
can
for
people
having me.
find you? It's at Chatham the SUN everywhere, right?
Yep, Chatham the SUN. If you're familiar with Cape Cod, Chatham Cape Cod, that's what I'm named after, or it's named after me. The SUN, S-U-N.
The sun.
Chatham the SUN
'Cause
everywhere.
He shines like one.
King Stay Blessed. You can type that in. If you can't spell Chatham, I'm used to it. King Stay Blessed, hosted by Static Selecta.
Yes.
Shout out to Mr. Cheeks, Lost Boys.
Yes.
Shout out to Cody Pope, Tiba, DJ Nefarious, Joe
Yes.
Grizzly, Bass Camp Beats, Kosa, etc., etc.
etc.,
I
etc.
got some production on there.
This was dope, Chatham. Thank you for coming through. You can find this on iTunes Thursday morning, also LFODradio.com, Google Play, anywhere they have podcasts. And stay tuned for the Extra Bars segment, too, because we've been doing that with all the guests lately. I know you got something you're going to drop off, right?
Yes. And real quick, shout out to Mom, Dad, and Uncle Fee.
Yes. Always the familiar. We're going to get out of here with a record from one of Tayshawn's friends, Most Generous.
Yeah.
Sent this in. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it yet. He says it's dope, so
I like him.
let's hope it's dope. We'll be back next week. A lot of open space for music, and Oompa's going to be rolling through to talk about her upcoming show at Great Scott. You're tuned into Live Free or Die Radio.